guys, what's up? It's me, Miss Bonita. Welcome back. I know the last time that I talked to everybody, it was right after I had gotten an accident. Matter of fact, it was the same day of the accident, but later on in the evening. And I just want to let you guys know I am doing much better. So I hope nobody was worried at all. Um, this is going to be a video just to really catch up as to what happened with the accident so far and where I'm at now on my journey. Where am I headed to next? Last time I really couldn't get into as much details of what's been going on at the dialysis center that I've been working at. But guess what? Today I'm going to be able to tell y'all a little bit more, okay? All right. So that's what we're going to do. First of all, I want to give a good shout out to my shirt right here. It says good vibes. And that's what I'm putting out there into the universe is good vibes. And I hope you guys got good vibes going on also as well. Also, I am so hungry, so I'm actually going to be eating a little bit today because I haven't ate yet. And so we're going to talk and everything while I eat because I am so hungry. So that's the first thing. My apologies off the bat that I'm eating um, as well as talking. But, you know, my first channel, I started off doing mukbangs. That was what I first started doing on my original channel. And um, think about it, think of it like that. The mukbangs people eat, talk, and because I'm so hungry today, we're gonna have to do some of that. Um, just so I can get just a little bit into my system. So I do have a new vehicle. I want to let you guys know that. I got a new vehicle. I got my new vehicle last week. Well, I picked it up last week. At the end of this video, you will get to see what my new vehicle is. Um, I will tell you with the vehicle situation. Um, with the vehicle situation, I purchased my vehicle one day, and I had to wait till the next day to pick it up because the first day I still had a rental car because of the accident with my insurance company, and so the following day, um, I was supposed to go back to pick my vehicle up. When I went back to retrieve the vehicle that I had purchased, I noticed ants, not inside of the vehicle, but on the outside. When I opened the door and was getting ready to step out of the vehicle, there was a line of ants. And I happened to have my two children with me. So my son noticed too. And then we noticed ants on the outside too. So I had to tell the sales rep, I was like, baby, look, I got a problem now. And the problem is there's ants. And I showed her the ants. She could visibly see it was a whole family of ants. And I told her, I said, this means that they definitely have a community. They definitely have a house. They've set up shop here. It's a problem. So they were really nice. The manager ended up giving me a loaner vehicle for the weekend. And I'll probably upload a picture of the loaner vehicle too. The loaner vehicle was a 2025 outstanding looking vehicle. But if I may be honest, way above my pay grade, if you know what I mean. So I did not go with the 2025, but it was the same vehicle. Um, that I purchased, but just a different year. So that's how that went. But after that weekend, I got my vehicle. Vehicle's fine. So far, we haven't seen no more ants at all. They made sure that they took care of that. So give them kudos for that situation. Um, so that's how that situation went. Now I still got some loose ends that I have to tidy up with my accident. Of course, my truck ended up being a total loss. So it was damaged pretty bad, and I am still, I've gotten over the soreness from the accident, because this is probably like 2 weeks later, from the accident. I still have this sore, well, this bad cut that was on my leg. It's healing up a lot better, but it's definitely taking longer for it to heal. Most of my bruises are gone except for one on my left knee. It's still tender there, so probably the bone was kind of bruised up. But other than that, I'm tip top shop. Okay. So let's go on to talk about the dialysis center that I work at. Sorry, needed some H2O, if you know what I mean. So with the dialysis center that I'm working at, mm, 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 mm. What I'll tell you is I'm on trainer number 3. I'm on trainer number 3. Um, the first trainer that I had, um, they ended up switching me out from her. Um, Probably within 3 weeks, maybe, of me being with her, 2 to 3 weeks actually. Um, Management did, and the reason why they switched me out from her is because she was also training another lady at the same time, and they just felt like she couldn't give me the type of attention I needed while she was training this other lady. Because me and this other lady was at two different areas, in training kind of thing. I was just coming in. The other lady had been there for a while, and this was towards the end of her training kind of thing. So fair is square, switched me out from that person. Um, can't say I was necessarily sad about it. I just truthfully felt like, things was happening as they probably should had happened. Um, and so I end up with another trainer. The other trainer, um, I recently got switched from. Um, I had this other trainer for probably, mm, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I had her long enough to where I have become efficient at my job. Um, Long enough to where I was able to, she was able to put me out on the bay by myself, and I was able to run the whole bay. But I'd have to say this trainer came with some hiccups, quite a bit of hiccups. And unfortunately, I had to be switched from this trainer to my third trainer, which I just worked with my third trainer. Was today? Today is Sunday. Friday was my first day with my third trainer. Um, I am, thank goodness, I don't take things personal in life. I try not to take things personal. I'm able to move forward, um, and not hold any grudges against anyone unless it's a situation where I feel like I have been physically challenged or just challenged in a way to where I know me and somebody cannot move on. I think there was some things going on with my last trainer that was definitely becoming questionable. I was definitely in a situation where I was definitely trying to give her grace because I felt like, well, maybe because she had some medical things going on at the time, um, I, I wanted to give her grace. Even though I had some things going on at the time too, because of course I had been in an accident in which I was recovering from an accident. So I was going to work the following week after the accident. um, I'm still banged up, but I'm still at work, and I'm at work with a positive attitude, not a negative attitude, and nothing negative is trickling off on anybody at all. Um, I don't know if I can say the same for the other person, and so I thought that, well, maybe because of their health situation, let me just give grace, let me just give grace and continue to be a kind person and to try to be understanding, even though I felt, um, one thing about me, mm, one thing about me is that I don't like to be disrespected by anyone. And because of that, I don't disrespect anyone else. You know, I like to always be respectful to people, no matter what their ages are, no matter whether you're older than me, younger than me, whatever the reason, no matter if you have a disability, there's no reason ever that I would need to be disrespectful to a person. So that's just something I don't like when people are disrespectful to me because I don't ever send that energy out, and I feel like adults, it's too easy for us to be respectful to any and everybody that we come in contact with because that goes a long way. When you're not respectful to one another, um, it just makes for an unhealthy environment. I feel like with everybody, it's only so much that a person can take before it gets to a point that either a person explodes or it just becomes a situation that it should never get into. So I definitely didn't want this situation with the last trainer to ever get to that point to where there's some type of explosion that happens, on the floor in front of patients that we're there to take care of. That's something that nobody ever wants to happen, and that's something that I definitely wanted to make sure did not happen. Um, I feel like some people wear their feelings on their shoulder. I don't. Some people take things that go on in their personal life or just go on around them and they exert it outward onto other people. Um, and I'm just not one of those kind of people. I feel like I want to come to work, do my job, or learn my job and learn it to the best of my ability. I definitely like structure. I like organization, and I like a clear understanding of what it is that I'm required to do. I like a clear understanding of that. A black and white understanding. This is what you are required to do, or this is how you do something. When it comes, things can turn very chaotic when it turns into, and like for us, for example, me working at a dialysis center, I have to be in at very early in the morning. So when I come in, part of my job is getting my machine set up for my patients before they arrive to the center. So if I'm being trained to set patients up according to the times that the patients are going to be there, right? And someone tells me, hey, I need you to set up these three machines for these three patients that are going to be the first ones coming in. Don't worry about the other machines. Well, then when I'm done setting up these three machines, it's, oh, you forgot about those machines. You didn't do those machines. You got to do those machines. Okay, simmer down, relax. And so it makes it to where, okay, so then I'm getting redirected. I haven't quite finished the information I need for the first three machines, but now I'm getting redirected. Once I get redirected, it's, oh, those first three machines, did you make sure you notated everything in those machines, notated everything for those patients? Okay, now I have to say, hey, look, what is it that you need me to do first? You know, so that's kind of how that plays into, because when it's, I need you to do this, no, now I need you to do this, no, now I need you to do this and that, and wait a minute, you didn't do this or that. That definitely can confuse a person. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I feel like sometimes um it makes you wonder, okay, well, is the person who's training me, is this the kind of mindset they trying to get me in? You know, and so with me, like I said, because I'm a go with the flow, relaxed kind of person, I was I'm able to maneuver in ways like that, right? But when it goes on so much, you kind of feel like, okay, well, how much maneuvering is this the norm? You know, kind of thing. So I think this was just a situation. Well, like I said, my second one, they had a lot going on personally within themselves, and so I ended up with a third trainer. And like I said, that can be tough, when people got their own personal things going on within their own personal life, and when you wear your feelings on your shoulders, your sleeves, and when it exerts out to other people. Um, I wouldn't say that that's the best way of dealing with things, but I do realize that everybody deal with things in different kinds of ways. So, and hopefully that's going to be it with that. Hopefully there's not going to be no malice or anything. I know not on my part. I don't have no malice with nobody. You know. Um, It's just a situation that I was changed from, kind of thing. So just like I was with the first one. So everybody has to know how to be able to go with the flow and not take things personal, and not mean that things are directed towards you. And I think with my first trainer, what I'd have to say about her is that she didn't take things personal. She realized that she had to work on dealing with one person instead of two. We talk just fine. There's no problem with us at the job. Um, I hope that that's going to be the same case with my second trainer. I hope that there's not going to be issues with us at the job when there should not be issues. You know what I mean? Um, and I hope that she'll be able to deal with her personal issues in the best way for her. Okay, just like everybody, just like I have to deal with my personal issues in the best way for me as well. So no malice, no issues on my part, and hope the same for them. But going forward, I do have a new trainer. We had a great time. We worked together Friday, and I hope it definitely continues. What I will say is what I've learned, and this from me having a profile background. I have a criminal justice degree, so I do have a profiling background in profiling people and also doing personality tests on people. And what I've learned from that is that when it comes to a situation with a trainer and a trainee, I feel like putting in place personality tests on each new employee coming in and each trainer, and matching people up with the most likeness of personalities, I think is an amazing thing to do. If a facility was able to do that, it would be great, because I think You definitely need two people that feed off of each other in a positive way, to work in a trainee and trainer, type of setting. So I do think that would be a good idea if they did something like that. But my job training is going a lot better. Like I said, I'm getting the hang of the job way more better. I do have a test coming up. September the 11th will be my PCT test, in which I will need to be able to pass that test with at least an 88 in order to be able to continue on, to graduation from, my training for the dialysis center. So I'm looking forward to that test. I'd have to admit I'm a little nervous, with the test, because what I feel is that I don't feel like, we've been necessarily prepared for this test. We've kind of been told to study for the test, but we also have a lot of, training videos. We're responsible for completing all of these 1,001 training videos before September the 11th. Because if you don't have your videos completed, then you won't be able to move on. And then we also have to worry about doing actual physical hands on training at the job. And then we have to worry about passing this test, in which I don't feel like we've, gotten enough preparation for. I feel like, yes, they do provide you with a study packet. Um, if you're like me, I'm a very visual person. I have to see it, and I have to see it outside of a packet. Because you hand me a big packet, I don't know what all from this packet you want me to pull from. And that's one of the things I learned in college, of course, being back in school. What information do I need to pull from? And so, a tip that someone gave me who took the test before me, they were like, you know what? Study on Quizlets. And I was like, oh, amen. Quizlets. That was a study mechanism that I used for my college prerequisite classes, if you guys remember. So I have started studying on Quizlets. I like it because Quizlets is definitely what I noticed from that reviewing for this exam that's coming up, is that a lot of the questions are not even pertaining to what we do hands on at the clinic. So that to me is very helpful, because if I wouldn't have got that little bit of a tip, I would have thought, oh, I only need to know the stuff that I have to do hands on when I'm at the clinic working with patients. No, it's a lot of other information, that's on this test, which is 100 questions that you got to make at least an 88. So they said we have to, at least we can get 20 wrong and still pass. Um, but of course, my goal is to go in there knowing pretty much as I can to the T, kind of thing. So that's what I've been doing. And I hope I do well on the test. Hopefully, I'll be able to get on and update you guys a little bit more before that test time. Although I can't promise you, because there is a lot going on. Also, my kids are starting back to school. Their first day of school will be, August the 25th, which is tomorrow. If you're watching this video today, they start back school, which I'm excited about. They're excited about. So that's going on as well. And I will have another class that I'll need to take before I get into this, while I'm waiting actually to get into the program that I'm waiting to get into, because I'm in the waiting game right now for the program. I already applied to this program and I'm just waiting to hear back. So that'll possibly be the next video, is, letting you guys know whether I got into the program that I've been waiting to get into. But I will have to take Anatomy 2. I will have to take Anatomy 2, and I'll be taking Anatomy 2 will start in October. It will start in October, because I wanted to give myself a little break so that I could study for all my, kidney information for my PCT at the dialysis center. So, you guys, I hope you enjoyed my update. And like I said, everything is, seem to be flowing as much as it can. Remember, in life, you will always stumble sometimes, and you will always face hiccups. The important thing is when people think they can break you, Never let them break you. Show them that you are unbreakable and stay focused. Stay focused on the mission at hand. Stay focused on the things that you're trying to accomplish in life. And do not let anyone get you off of that path. I love you so much, my friends. And until next time, Benita, she got it.